Restart India presents Let's Talk Business, a talk show curated and presented by Restart India, an initiative started by Muthoot FinCorp Limited in partnership with Inc. Restart India came into being during the initial days of the lockdown with an aim to address the concerns of small businesses. One of the ways we connect with our community of small businesses is through our live events. At Restart India, while we are running on-ground campaigns to support and restart micro and nano businesses, the talk shows and live events are aimed to create a community wherein the advice from one entrepreneur or mentor can help other startups learn, share views, and grow. Our live events also create awareness to enable the community to come together and support small and local businesses. In this new edition of live events, we call Let's Talk Business. It is a conversation between entrepreneurs who run small businesses. We want to hear from them on how they ideated, set up their business, the challenges they faced, and how they have come to be where they are now. Restart India.
Good evening, everyone. How are all of you doing? It's summertime, and summer across India reminds us of our fond memories that we have of our summer vacations from our childhood, visiting grandparents, spending time with cousins, running around, and yes, mangoes. But aren't the summers getting hotter? And the climate is changing as we speak. Is it the same summer and similar stories that we are passing on to the next generation? Guys, climate change is real. And because of the million small things that at a macro level are causing this climate change. These changing environmental conditions are because we as humans have forgotten to live sustainably, minimally, and in harmony with our environment. It is a problem, yes. But we at Restart India believe in trying to make a difference and work towards solutions. We're proud that we can use this platform to talk about issues that help and educate so many people to make more planet-friendly choices. I'm Shraddha Narayanan, Program Manager for Restart India, and we have lined up a great show for tonight. We're going to talk about stepping towards circular economy. Now, what is circular economy? A circular economy uses various strategies such as reducing, reusing, recycling, and together eliminate waste, lower material resource consumption, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So that's how you know it's connected to climate change. It's a model of production and consumption which involves sharing, reusing. A circular economy is regenerative by design and aims to gradually decouple growth from the consumption of, yes, our very finite resources. I have just introduced the topic, but we have two guests today who are leading by example. Let me introduce you to our wonderful guests who would share their journey on building a circular economy. Pradyumna hails from Chennai. He has completed his graduation in architecture. He and his co-founder Mridula Mohan have experience working with different design companies. However, their attention was drawn towards litter and waste. Litter is produced in tons on a daily basis and it takes years to degenerate. This pushed them to understand the different types of waste that could be recycled, and thus their company Samsara was born. Samsara makes products from recycled waste. Welcome, Pradyumna. Shikha Shah is our next guest. Shikha hails from Varanasi. She graduated from the Hansraj College and has completed her master's in environmental sciences from Terry University, New Delhi. She started her career with the CSR wing of Reliance Foundation and was posted in the incubation cell for IIT Madras for 2 years. She's extensively traveled to rural parts of India for work and this has helped her stay connected to her roots. She started Scrapshala in 2016, a homegrown venture to make sustainable alternatives for lifestyle and decor products. She also runs a backpackers hostel, Mustache Hostel in Varanasi. She believes in building value to people's life by creating innovative solutions through her ventures. Can we please have our guests online? Pradyumna, Shikha, welcome to our Let's Talk Business and to Restart India. How are you guys doing?
Hi, Shraddha. Thank you so much for such a lovely introduction. I'm doing absolutely good.
How are you doing, Pradyumna?
Hi, sir. Thank you for having us here. We're doing good.
Thanks,
And
and I am really so excited to venture into this topic with both of you. You lead such amazing organizations, and in the past when we have spoken, I'm amazed at what you guys do, and your websites reflect your true passion for the circular economy. So let's just get started and dive right in. Our show is divided into 5 segments, and each segment we'll be discussing topics that are relevant to running a business. So we'll start with the first segment, the what, when, why factor, the rationale behind everything a business does. The what, when, why factor are the foundation and the building blocks that decide the success of any enterprise, be it small or large. So let's begin. Pradyumna, I want to start with you. How did Samsara happen? Why don't you just take us through your story?
I mean, as designers, both me and my co-founder, we really wanted to, we realized the responsibility a designer has because, from bringing things from paper to reality, we have the choice of choosing materials and understanding the impact that, a product can have, physical product can have. And so we thought that, this comes with a lot of responsibility. And as designers, we wanted to do something to push the topic forward and actually make something than just, you know, having a discussion or speaking about it. We wanted to actually make things out of waste and see where that could lead us. And that's how Samsara was born, with the idea of primarily working with waste as our main source of raw material and converting that into products of utilitarian value and for everyday space.
Lovely. And when did Samsara, when did you start this? When was the ideation and when did it actually come into being?
So we started this in 2018 as a side project. For the first 2 years, it was just doing things on the side between our architecture practice and exploring different production techniques, working hands-on with the machine to understand the different processes. How can we design and manufacture and make. So I would say the last 3 years, first 3 years, just about R&D completely, and during the last 6 months that we've actually been, you know, trying to work.
Excellent. It's so nice, and we'll of course hear more about Samsara. But Shikha, let me ask you, what is the story of Scrapshala? How did it start, and where is it now?
So, hi, Shraddha. Hi, Pradyuman again. So, Scrapshala started from the balcony of our house, which is in Varanasi. And it was mostly a build up for my mother, who had been a very conscious person while consuming or trashing things. So we started in 2016 with a local artisan involved in our work. So Varanasi comes in Uttar Pradesh, which is known for its handicraft, wooden toy making, handloom sari. So there are more than 1,000 families in Varanasi who are artisanal and who have been following certain skill sets from generations. But since machine age came into came became mainstream, and factory made products became cheaper, and they started competing with the handmade products, most of these artisans went unemployed. So it was easy for us to get hold of few artisans and make us work at our home, and start with the product line which we could try to sell commercially and even educate people regarding it. So that's how we started, from the balcony of house. And in our 5 year journey, now we have a decent workshop. We have more than 20 artisans who are associated with us, and we have a team of interns from NIFT and IT who help us with the designing. It's a lean business, it's a small scale business, but I personally feel that we are going in the right direction.
This is brilliant. I mean, I'm already excited to understand and dive deeper into both your, work style. So, Pradyumna, I'll come back to you. You've worked with various architects and created products that are recycled and reused. Can you throw light on the circular economy process that you use at Samsara and how do you design them?
Um, so in terms of designing, what we really wanted to do was in our manufacturing process, create a singular product, right? Something that was open-ended. And that's where we've uh, moved on to this process called compression molding, where we make a flat panel, like it's in a sheet. So the same panels can be used for a multitude of applications. So like for furniture, the same sheet could be used for a table or a chair or a planter box. So in that way, the manufacturing process is simple. Um, and the product application was quite large. But when it came to how we really thought about circular economy, was we wanted to ensure that we know there's a lot of waste here. So what we do is we use 100% recycled plastic to create our panels. So there is no other additives that are added, and we just use heat and high pressure to create our product. It's made from 100% waste. And our furniture, sometimes we add familiar materials like wood and metal. But at the end of the day, all these products can be recycled again. The plastic parts can be taken away separately from the wood and the metal to create, truly circular economy.
So where do you source these? You say waste and litter. So, but only some can go into making the panels that you're talking about. So where do you source this kind of waste from?
Um, all of this, the invisible supply chain of plastic and recovery of waste already exists in every city. It's just that we see the surface level, but if you dig deep down, you can actually find this whole you know so-called informal supply chain that exists. And we tie up with vendors who do this exactly. They segregate the plastic based on type of plastic. They segregate it based on colors, and then they further process. They shred it down and they wash it. And this is used as a filler in the traditional plastic industry to reduce the cost.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting to know. And who are your end consumers? I mean, who actually buy these panels from you? Or do you sell them only as furniture? Do you make that in-house and then you sell them?
Yeah, so the panels as such can be used as cladding for walls and false ceiling as a decorative surface finish. And the furniture, and you can make furniture from it as well. So our main clients right now are, other architects and designers, furniture manufacturers. We have a lot of, end consumers also coming to us, asking that they have some products, they have sizes. And so we do everything in house. Currently, we have a team of people, carpenters, metal fabricators, working on this. And so we do everything from supplying the sheets to the finished product.
Perfect. I would really like everyone to just go to their website and check out the amazing work they're doing. And on the other side, we have Shikha. You work with artisans, like you said, and you give them the opportunity to turn waste into beautiful products. How do you get these upcycling ideas, and how is it that Scrapshala contributes to the circular economy?
Uh, so for us, like I said, India as a country has been very rich in agriculture and handicraft. So I think you move to any region of India, you will find, state-based art forms, state-based skill sets. So similarly, right now we have just captured Uttar Pradesh because we are situated in Varanasi, and so we associate local artisans who are existing in our own city, in our own region, and we train them to work on different set of material. Instead of, for example, a carpenter, instead of working on plywood, now he's working on reclaimed wood. or a weaver who was weaving with plastic threads, now he's weaving with cane thread, or he's weaving with tire tubes. So similarly, we are just shifting their material, and the working style still remains the same. So we have always tried to give identification to these artisans, and most of our product carry their stories, because to convince a local artisans to do something which is not very which is not very mainstream, it becomes even more difficult for them, like for them to start working on tire, or start washing the tires and working on it. They also don't know, like, if they're working 8 hours in a day, that they are doing a dignified job or not, or whether who is going to buy it, are people going to appreciate it. So we have always tried to give visibility to our artisans, so that they also stay in this, like, so that's how we keep our team intact. And about circular economy, we try that Scrapshala products, while making, while using, or even while getting discarded, they try to create minimum new trash. I mean, for example, if we are working on old tires, we create a furniture out of it, it gets used for 5-10 years, and again somebody is going to throw it. So the same old tire which we used while making the product is again getting discarded. So that's how we are trying to maintain the circular economy.
Excellent. And you mentioned old tires, you mentioned cane threads. It's so exciting. I mean, what are the other materials like which seemingly is trash because people throw it? And if they look at your website, it's such amazing products. So, what are the other sources of, the input for you guys to just turn it into something really innovative?
So right now we are working with 8 categories. So we are working with plastic, we are working with tires, we are working with cardboard, newspapers, metal waste, e-waste, plastic bottles, textile waste. That's like some categories we are not going full fledged. We are creating small things. So yeah, that's all.
Oh, amazing. It's so nice. I mean, seemingly both of you are working on waste and upcycling, and the products which you generate are so radically different, and yet you are both contributing to the circular economy. It's really nice. So at Restart India, I would just like to share with you guys, we have come up with a new vertical of corporate gifting because we support these small and nano businesses, and we were looking at putting their products into a box. These are like home based businesses, they are not going to have access, but again, they are weavers, they are artisans, they make really good coconut oil in Kerala. So we are also trying to have sustainability in our corporate gifting box. Like one of our small businesses has handmade paper, and that's where we are printing the leaflet on. And we should be launching our gift box soon. And I would request all the audience to keep shouting out for us and looking at our website as well. But thank you, Shikha and Pradyum. It's given a really good picture of what Samsara and Scrapshala are all about. And I think we're ready to move into our next segment called as Snippets. Both of you are entrepreneurs, and like any entrepreneur, when that journey starts, it's not only your growth, but also the responsibility of so many families that have trusted you, have enabled you to walk along this path. And it requires really great strength and insights. And we would really like to know from you guys. So, Pradyumna, when you started on this journey, was it a choice from the start that you were going to go on a path that was sustainable? And what is that one moment in your journey that you always remember and you look back for inspiration when things maybe not be going that well?
I mean, to answer your first question, I would say, the one inspiration that I always look forward to is, how we essentially got started, right? Because, it took, when I started off with this, we had no idea about manufacturing. We had no idea about, you know, products, what kind of products we're going to make. We had no idea about plastic. But we anyways went forward with it. We thought it's a learning curve. Everything has a learning curve. If you're used to designing buildings, if you have to design products, that's also a learning curve at the end of the day. So we understood that, and I think for us is our ability to say, okay, we don't know something, and let's try to learn it. think that has always been something that uh, we have taken as a positive way.
Great. And did you always want to be, when you became an architect also, did you always think that when you do something, it will be along the sustainability line?
Uh, no, not really. Actually, looking back to it, I just think like we are quite fortunate in a sense to have house, to have food, to have all our basic necessities taken care of, and in a way, I always wanted to give back for that. I think it's important. And so even for my thesis, I did something along the lines of, urban design, reviving the riverfront in Chennai. And that essentially today, if you take it into, plastic, we really want to have an impact in the work that we do. I think that was always something that we wanted. We wanted to make sure that anything that we do at the end of the day moves things forward. I mean, it's not like we're going to, as a company, solve a global issue. I mean, but it starts the talking point. It gets the ball rolling, and that's what as much as we
Amazing.
can do.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Pradyumna, for sharing that with us. So, Shikha, I think working with so many artisans, like you said, that you have to really coach them, counsel them, maybe give them the center stage to enable them to, feel rooted to the cause. So, could you share some inspirational stories that still make you proud in your last 5 years journey? I mean, I'm sure you have many, but maybe pick one or two for us and share that with us.
Sure, Shilpa. So we really have actually a lot of snippets and a lot of stories because it's a there are least machines involved and there are more humans involved. So definitely it has changed lives of people. So when we started, like I said, that we started from a balcony of our own house. And that time we used to have iPad and mobile phones as family members. There were some extra phones lying. So when we hired our painter and when we told him to work, so there was a big problem of how to show him the references, like how he has to make, because we also didn't have any major brand to show him that, okay, no, you have to take inspiration from here and start making products. So we used to give them our iPads, or I used to personally give my phone for 2 hours that, okay, start seeing this, and or show them YouTube videos. So eventually now all the artisans, like I think 20 artisans who are permanently associated with us, all of them have smartphones, and we have WhatsApp groups with them in which we work together, we communicate. I keep traveling to different cities, but our manufacturing is based in Varanasi. So it is just brilliant to, there are days which are very low when we don't have much sales, and those are the days when we think about, okay, let's think about the impact which we have created. And it's just brilliant to see how these local artisans, how these people who had basic handsets, have moved to smartphones, and they know that, okay, Scrapshala's video is out. They also put it on their WhatsApp statuses. They're on, a few of them are now on Instagram also, because they keep seeing our team making content and posting on Instagram. So all of them have become tech savvy, and their personal lives have grown a lot because they have started documenting things, recording things, and so that is I think the coming decade is of technology, and we feel really grateful that all the people who are associated with us have come on the same page. So that's very nice. And then if we talk at the customer end, then because we have more physical presence in Varanasi, so it's amazing that every day we go to office, there's a carton full of certain category of trash which we handle. It could be tires, it could be glass bottles, it could be newspapers. So we always have 4 or 5 cartons kept, which has come from somebody we don't know. And at times we know them also, and then they message us that we were clearing our house, we thought, why to throw it, let's give it to Scrapshala. There are some people who also sell their trash to us rather than throwing it away, which they used to do before. So very uh, uh, Again, in a very small way, we have changed lives of people, both at our artisan end and at our consumer end.
Uh, uh, this is really beautiful. I mean, you've pretty much created a community. So it's not only the artisans who are being employed by you, but also the people, just because they know Scrapshala is present, they themselves are going to, segregate the well littered trash which is getting made into such
Correct.
beautiful products and giving it to you. So that's really great. And I really liked your point about digitization. It's so important. We and the joy which I could see on your face that they are now on Instagram and they're sharing the things on WhatsApp. So we took something similar in our digitization program when we tried to educate, and we actually picked WhatsApp as a medium where we could educate these small businesses on, you have products, you're doing it at home, how about you learn to put it on your status, get the reach which you need by this digitization program. So really nice. I think all ventures which they start and you really want to create impact, we share such similar stories. So really nice. And Pradyumna, I just wanted to have one more question. So now that you create panels, I know that on your website you sell them. Is that, do you also get orders from, say, large corporates, or do you get orders from people who are, maybe wanting to build in a different way and then they use it? You're already getting those kind of orders as well?
Yeah, I mean, we're currently doing a project for like a large corporate in Bangalore. So we're doing the cafe space, and we're doing a lot of work for other designers as well, because at the end of the day, they are the ones who introduce materials, and they are the ones who design the product and the spaces with those materials. So yeah, we are everything is slowly picking up, and we are able to be becoming self-sustainable nowadays.
Great, great. All right, I think we can move to our next segment, which is called Gyan Time. This Gyan section is where the expertise comes into picture, and I actually love this section. No matter how many guests we have had, we always have something really new and interesting to learn. So, Shikha, I'll start with you. Upcycling scrap, you're making these decors, but I'm sure it must have been a tough journey. Can you list four pointed lessons which maybe anybody else who wants to start their business or wants to get into sustainability and is just looking for that little motivation, if they hear you they can just get started? So can you tell us these four lessons which you have learned and you would like to share?
Definitely, definitely. So the first will be that you have to start. The word startup itself says you have to start. I mean, that's the biggest lesson, that, most of 90% of the people fail because they don't even start. And, or so then second point is, once you start, you have to be consistent. So you have to, embrace your journey. Like I said, even in our 5 year journey, there are days when our sales are very low. We have a retail store in Varanasi, so we have to ensure certain amount of sales on daily basis to keep it running. But the COVID happened, and it impacted the entire world, so a lot of businesses shut, a lot of people lost motivation. And it was almost like survival of the fittest situation, where if you had courage to take up failure, or courage to take up dull days, you could survive even with less cash flow, even with you know uh, less number of people associated with you on salaried basis, because obviously everybody was having a difficult time. So in that, if you can be consistent and embrace your low and high days both equally, then it becomes, you already win, you win over a lot of people. So that's there. And then you really need to have a strong purpose, because most brands, or most ideas which are not very strongly visioned, or which doesn't have purpose, they, the founder or the team itself loses interest, because you are again just doing something to generate money without a soul. So there
Hmm.
will be a time where you don't have anything to share. Like, like when you have purpose, you have stories to share, you have things to tell to people. You constantly figure out things also, because you know that you have to reach somewhere. So if you don't have a purpose, then less people will get associated with you, and you will have very less to say or do, or experiment in your business. So a very strong vision has to be there. And fourth thing, I would say that you also have to practice what you say. For example, if I am I am talking about sustainability or using upcycle products, if somebody lands up in my office or my own home, it shouldn't be full of plastic or full of commercial
Yeah.
products. You have to love your own products. If I
Yeah.
always if I never buy things from my own brand, it is unfair to sell it to others.
Yeah.
So that has to be there. Moment you feel that you enter your own store, if you have a store, and you don't feel like buying anything, then you're not bored. Probably your products are not good enough. So you have to ensure that you really like your own products. Then only you can confidently speak about it or sell it. So yeah, that's all from me.
Awesome, Shikha. So, everyone who's listening, if you want to start, just start. Second, be consistent. Have a vision and a purpose. And the last, and I think the most important point, be authentic and be honest to yourself and why you're starting. And that's how your business would scale. Lovely, Shikha. Thank you so much. Pradyumna, I'll come to you. What are your 4 takeaways from your entrepreneurial journey that you've learned and you would want to share with our audience?
I mean, when we started off, we just had an idea of, making products from recycled plastic. We were very wide, you know. So we had no place to start. We were making bowls one day, we were making something else another day, just experimenting. Right? I think when things truly changed was when we understood that we have to be focused on who our customer is, who do we want to sell to, and then we build the product around it, because that helps us really focus on, okay, what are the needs of the people, and then how can we add value to them, in a sense, and is it a product that they can afford? So that was basically what our biggest learning was. I mean, the next one was something that really changed our mind about thinking about sustainable or even making products from waste was, we understood that in India, just because a product is made from waste or is recycled or has a positive environmental impact, people will not buy it. That was a very harsh reality for us. Because we were so passionate about it, but at the end of the day, it was also price sensitive, and you have to add value. There has to be an additional value that it adds at the end of the day. That's when they are willing to pay that additional price. So that was something that we really. These are 2 points that we really, really we learned over the last 3 years, I would say.
Awesome. Awesome. So I think from what I understand, Pradyumna, I think you started with a vision and a passion, but ultimately you had to focus on something. And that has been one of your learnings. And second, just passion is not going to kill it. You have to add value. Only then people will buy. It's great to have a vision, but just because something is good, unless it has value, people will not take out their pocket and pay money. Beautiful lessons from both our amazing speakers. And I think it's the right time we can switch gears to a video segment. Our next segment is called Let's Watch This One. We usually showcase a story of a small local business which Restart India has helped or they have done something novel. This time we have a snippet from one of our impact programs. So, yeah, let's take a look. So just to set context, this was a Shop Small Day initiative. This is one of our impact programs which we've started at Restart India. So Restart India started when COVID hit, and we started with the digitization program. How can we just help small businesses? We started advising them, and then we moved on to digitization. Now, as the world is slowly opening up, what these small nano home based businesses actually need is for the customers to come and buy from them. So we started this mini exhibition called Shop Small Days. We did 3 in Kerala, where we have the maximum presence. Muthoot has the maximum presence with their small businesses. So we started the Shop Small Days there. And it was really incredible to watch these guys really come alive, and just the access to these customers. From there, we learned that maybe they need a little bit of skilling. Some guys were really quiet and did not make those sales. Some were really outgoing and open, and they made their sales, maybe a month sale in one day. So we attached a skill up program. How do you display your products? How do you talk? How do you have a QR code? How do you ensure that people are at least interested? You get their interest. If they express interest, take down their number, add them to your customer base. So these are the things we do, and the one which you saw was a few weeks back, which we did for the first time in the state of Tamil Nadu. We did it in Pondicherry. So yeah, and we plan to do a lot more, and we're looking at other cities where we can invite the small businesses already associated with Restart India and more businesses. So yeah, watch out for more Shop Small Days. So any comments on what you saw, Shikha, Pradyumna?
So it was brilliant to see. I mean, at Scrapshala also we have a small events wing where we do farmers market, flea market, zero waste events. So we understand how important it is to give a platform to homegrown businesses, who don't have bandwidth to exhibit in big exhibitions, or some people don't even have bandwidth to travel out of their houses. So for them, having localized market spaces and exhibitions, it's the probably the only thing they have to grow. So I think
Yes.
it's a brilliant platform to hold such events and give visibility to businesses. And even like we were talking about creating value, localites get to buy fresh products, and they get to know so much more about homegrown businesses, brands, skill sets of people in their own city. So it overall boosts the local economy of the city as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Shikha. Pradyumna, you have any comments on the same?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's all along the lines of what you guys are doing and what Shika is also doing. Bringing the makers in front. I mean, in today's day and age, I think we're putting a lot more voice to the people behind the product, and it's really encouraging to see, because a lot of art forms are, on the decline, and the more we can encourage people to continue that form and continue the generational, crafts, and bringing the localized. I mean, that's the biggest thing of, like, you wouldn't even know it's happening right in your own city, or
Yeah.
things like that. These things exist, and the quality of work, you get to connect with the people who make it, customize stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a great starting point. I mean, it really encourages, and it's a great way to do that. And of course, from your end, what you were saying was really interesting. Was, you know uh, how to improve, like, the presentation, or how do we get the number, how do you speak. I think all of that adds so much value, because they would also be so eager to learn. And that's what we have seen with a lot of people, like, even with the carpenters here. This is a very new material, so we're all looking at, okay, how can we do, how can we test, how can we, they are so excited to do new things, and
Yeah.
how to implement their craft into new things is the excitement that they bring. uh, it changes, the whole energy. Yeah,
Yeah, it changes
it's very
lives
nice.
and communities. And I think the 3 Restart India, Scrapshala, and Samsara pretty much aligned in the vision, at least, to empower and bring communities together. So it's great. So everyone who's watching, if you've helped a small nano business in your locality to restart, or you do have sustainable shopping practices, record a short video of the shop which you've supported, post it on social media, and tag us using these hashtags: small business, support local, shop small, local business support. We'll feature best small business stories that you've shared in our future live events. And do keep looking out for a shop small day coming to your city. We are expanding and we'll probably be doing one every month. So do stay tuned and we will announce that on our website. All right, I think the last 15 minutes of our conversation can be turned towards the audience. We have the final segment, which is called Ask Me Anything. And we have received some questions from the audience, and maybe some are just coming in to our teams. So, are you ready, guys? I'll just start with some questions from the audience. I have one here from Ravindra in New Delhi. It's a question to both of you. Often, social enterprises find it difficult to raise funds since they work in areas where the gestation period for a new product development or behavior change is very high. Could you please highlight similar challenges that you may have faced and how you managed to sail through? Uh, Pradyumna, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, it has been quite difficult, in that sense. Uh, for the first 3 years, I think we kept our burn rate very small. There was really not much that we invested in. It was just our time, raw materials, and some basic stuff. So we were able to push through. It's only now that that when you build a business, it's always going to take time, and especially for something new, it's going to take even longer. I think that is something we were prepared for in the start itself, and raising have no plans of raising any funds anytime soon because um, we are kind of self-sufficient in that sense. But otherwise, I think it's something that we were prepared for, and we know it's going to take some time.
Great. Shikha, you want to answer Ravindra's question as well?
Yeah, so like Pradyuman also said that initially, I mean, for us to till now, our burn rate is quite low, and we've kept our business very very lean. That's how we could survive in the COVID pandemic also. So I would suggest that only to everybody. I mean, no matter if you have financial access, start lean, and eventually try to raise money. I mean, there because while raising money, you don't just get money; you also get a lot of mentorship.
Great, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. The next question coming in is from Anurag Mittal. He's from Pune. Some people may have the vision to start a sustainable initiative, but not the business expertise to execute and monetize. In this case, how can a person build and follow a ground up business plan? I think both of you can weigh in on this. So maybe Pradyumna, why don't you take it first, and then we can move to
Yeah,
Shikha.
I mean, uh, you do take baby steps at the end of the day. Always having somebody, there's always somebody in your family or somebody who who you can always reach out to. So, when it comes to design, we reach out to people in the design fraternity. When it comes to business, we reach out to people who have headed businesses or who, have that expertise, who started their own business. We kind of you can't know everything by yourself, and if you've not worked anywhere else before, uh, you're going to have to learn it on the job. So speaking to other people, learning from other people is the best way. Like Shikha said, raising money brings not just money, but the expertise, right? And that's what she very rightly said. Uh, in that sense.
Great. Shikha, you want to weigh in on what Anurag has asked?
Yes, definitely. Can you just repeat the questions once
Yeah,
more?
some people may have the vision to start a sustainable initiative, but not the business expertise to execute and monetize. In this case, how can a person build and follow a ground up business plan? So that's what Anurag is asking.
Yeah. So hi Anurag. So honestly, like I'm an environmental science postgraduate. I didn't have any business expertise until now. Our business doesn't have a full-fledged business development person. So it's the journey is always going to be a journey of growth and learning. So it is okay. I mean, everybody can't have all the skill sets. So everybody can't have all the skill sets. So you really, 1 second, just 1 second.
I think there's
So
some.
yeah, had
No worries, Shikha, you were saying.
yeah. So I was just
That's okay. No worries about that.
I have
But I
two kids. I have two kids in the house, so they have come back. So yeah, I was saying that it's gonna be a learning journey, and you really don't need to worry about having all the skill sets. Like somebody might be good at finance, somebody will be good at accounting. So you will eventually build a team. So what your strengths are. Like if you are a product based company, if you figure out your own product, that's the bigger thing. Rest things follow up. If you are a service based company, what services you are going to provide, if you figure that out, that's gonna be bigger than figuring out rest of the things, and then eventually everything will set. And moment you start raising funds or getting people on board, everything will happen. It's just like raising a baby. Your baby doesn't come with all the education, so you put them to school, then they learn, then you give them physical training to build their muscles. So similarly, once your startup is figured out what you want to do, then you get experts to fill the gaps which you are not aware of.
Great. And I'll just like to add to Anurag that I think the environment which we are in now is more based on collaboration, right? People are open to collaborating, people are ready to share information, and there's so many platforms which are available where you can talk to other entrepreneurs. This is one such platform, but I'm sure everywhere in Pune as well, you must be having a lot of places where you can share. And like Pradyumna said, learning by talking to others is probably the best type of learning that you can have. So we have quite a few questions. We have Afrin from Hyderabad. She asks, it may get difficult for social entrepreneurs to stay true to their vision and at the same time manage the profitability of their business. How can a social entrepreneur manage both? Interesting question. I would love to hear your views.
So I'll go first in this. So yeah, that's totally true. That to remain 100% honest to your vision with which you started, it does get diluted a bit as you scale up. Because like Pradyuman was also saying that they started with a lot of products, and then they eventually thought, okay, we have to work with XYZ segment, and then they designed their category accordingly. For us also, we started with a very wide category. We had more than 800 SKUs, and now we are trying to come down to 50 60 SKUs, so that we can focus. That's true. Like as you scale up, your vision will get diluted in some way or other way. And if you get investors on board, definitely it's gonna get diluted. See, more people you have, everybody looks for their own benefits, and which is fair also, because whoever gets associated, they also need to take something out of you. So always start with a broad vision. I mean, you when you make a very small vision, and then there are high chances of diluting it completely. So if you have a broad vision, then you can fit a lot of things, and with a bit of hustle from everybody, still you remain true to your purpose of your brand. So always think before only that someday your vision will get shifted here and there. Understand all the pros and cons, and then redesign your vision till you have time. So yeah, that's all from my side.
Great, great. Pradyumna, you want to weigh in on this?
Uh, yeah, it's part and parcel of everything, right? Like it's like setting a goal for yourself, but if you reach 80%, you're happy. But it's better to do that than do nothing. So that is it's always going to be there, at the end of the day, because when you start off, you know little. When you get into it, you learn a lot more, and you change the way you think. And I don't think it becomes a dilution. I think you focus, right? That's what happens. So I mean, it's all about perspective again. When you think big and you think wide, sometimes you need to focus on a small thing, because you can always go wide once you grow. Like you can always add things. Like Shikha was saying, she had to scale down the SKU. So once it keeps moving, you see what works. You have data right now, because when you start, you don't have data. You know what's moving, what people like, what are their preferences, what's the price point. There's so much you don't know, and once you do learn, then you can make an educated choice. That's the difference. And I mean, that's part and parcel of everything. You cannot, continue to keep doing the same thing. At some point, you have to pivot. Some point, you have to grow. Sometimes you have to scale back. It's part and parcel of everything. But as long as your main focus is still there, that's great. I don't think you really would change your focus or your vision. You would narrow it down, or you would be more specific.
Great. I actually had an interesting question which I wanted to ask you. Shikha, do you have any training for the artisans as well, like something what Restart India is doing in Skill Up? Do you also have some training for your artisans? And
Now we do. Now we do have. I mean, the new artisans who associate with us, we do train them. Now because we have SOPs of different product lines. Since we are into upcycling, how to clean different material, how to store different materials. So now we have a lot of guidelines. But initially, when we started, we didn't.
great, amazing. And what about you, Pradyumna? I think all the carpenters, etc., who are associated with you, do you also have some in-house like training programs for them?
No, I think they get more comfortable as they make stuff. So what
Hmm.
we do is, we get some good tools for the job. I mean, that's essentially what we did. We started off with the basic tools, and then we understood there were certain better tools that are out there, and so we invested in them. After that, you could see that they will start experimenting. We let them experiment, right? We always say, okay, how do you want to do it? Each person has their own way of making things. So we try to understand and work with them in a sense that makes them comfortable. But at the same time, if we feel that there might be another way to go, it's all through testing. Uh, you let them experiment their ways. We show them our way, and then at the end of the day, that's through prototyping. And once that's done, then there's one set way in which they go. So they're responsible for that product.
Great. I think the next question is for you, Pradyumna. This is Nitin Vashish from Chennai. He says, I'm an architecture student and I dream to work at the intersection of society, design, and entrepreneurship. Can you please tell me who and what was your earliest inspiration to set up Samsara?
Uh, our earliest inspiration was, like you said, when we started this off, we really wanted to get into product, but wanted to change the scale of design that we were doing, because we could add a lot more details in design. But before we got into that, we really talked about what are the products that we wanted to do, because we knew there are a lot of people making, uh, wooden furniture and metal furniture and other materials, and we wanted to see how we could do something different. And that's when we started to think about, okay, understanding where the materials are coming from, what's happening to these materials at the end of life. What are the ecological impacts of these materials that we use? These are things nobody questions today. And that's really what led us to understand, okay, wait, there's a lot of waste also. Is this waste usable in any format? How can we do it? And so we started off the business actually as the recycle company, where we would, like, in a few years have a ton of different materials to work with. Uh, After 3.5 years, we haven't been scratching. So
Oh, wow.
at the end of the day, yeah, plastic. But otherwise, I think that's basically how we started off with Samsara.
Great. So, Nitin, if you are looking to get inspired, I think, like Pradyumna said, he's just scratching the surface. So, there's plenty to go around, and you should definitely start if you're looking at working at that intersection. Great. We have one final question, and that's for you, Shikha. It's a very interesting question. Reva is from Varanasi, and she says, I'm a resident of Varanasi, and I love your products. I also aspire to be an entrepreneur, but naturally, people have the notion of taking men more seriously as entrepreneurs, especially in tier 2 cities. What is your word of wisdom to inspire women like me who want to be entrepreneurs despite constant doubts?
So hi Reva, I'm happy to know that you're from Varanasi, and I hope you have come to our workshop and our store and seen our products. See, if you are an artist, or if you have skill set of making things, there are a lot of spaces. I mean, even if you don't want to have your own setup, there are a lot of maker spaces where you can just put your just click pictures, put your products, and see the response. So I don't know how much experience you have had in past. So I would strongly suggest to start lean and test your products in the market, either by keeping it in some markets, online market space, or offline aggregator. There are a lot of aggregator stores where you can put your products and test it. So I would just say that moment you figure out your top products which people like, everything is gonna fall in place. And we all are born in the age of technology, which is our biggest strength, all of us. I mean, our parents generation never had this this kind of visibility which we all have. It's just amazing. I wish I could tell you how lucky we are with the content, with the ideas. It's so easy just to go on YouTube and learn something. So just start. I would say just start. And in case you're stuck with anything, we would be happy to help you at Scrapshala.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, both Pradyumna and Shikha. I think it has been such an amazing conversation. I got to learn a lot more. We've just heard about circular economy, and from what I heard from both of you, you still have that much depth which you can still go to. And, I hope this opens up the conversation, and many other people who are inspired by you come in, and as a community we can change. Thank you so much for this conversation and great insights. Thank you, guys. Audience, please continue to visit us on our website restartindia.in, as well as on all our social media pages for exciting updates and resources. Stay tuned for our next impact program and more of Shop Small Days. Our corporate gifting should be out soon as well. This is your initiative, and these conversations are for you, and we are here to journey with you. Thank you so much. Good night. Namaskar.
Thank you, Shraddha. Thank you, Pradyumna.